last, finally, thank God, there is a Pokemon game that respects my fucking time. Pokemon Legends Arceus acknowledges and understands that video games have moved on since 1999. It also understands that if I pick up a berry, I don't need the game to pause and throw multiple text boxes at me telling me I picked up the berry and put the berry in the berry pocket in my fucking bag. It just does the thing. You pick up a berry, it goes in your inventory. There's a little bit of text off to the side telling you how many berries you picked up, and that's it. You can keep playing the game. It doesn't keep stopping and starting like so many Pokemon games in the past. Everything about Pokemon Legends has been streamlined, improved, and made less of a goddamn hassle. In the past, there have been moderate improvements to the gameplay flow of Pokemon. I thought the Let's Go games were actually really good, with how quick and efficient it was to navigate the world and collect Pokemon. Sword and Shield made some advancements, some quality of life improvements. There was a ton more room for improvement, as Arceus has highlighted, though I appreciated at least the baby steps forward Sword and Shield had taken. But then the Pearl and Diamond remakes came out and reminded me just how goddamn excruciatingly ponderous the average Pokemon experience is. So much patronising text breaking the flow of the game, so much fucking around in menus, so much ancillary sluggish bullshit getting in the way of the experience. None of that is present in Pokemon Legends Arceus. You know, you can get a mount in this game. You play it for a bit, then you get a mount. You can sit on the back of a big deer, and it gets you to places fast. And you know how you summon and ride that mount? You press a button! That's all you do! You press a button and suddenly you're on the back of a fucking deer, just playing the video game, just video gamesing. No dicking around in menus to keep equipping a vehicle and de-equipping a vehicle. You just press a button. That's all you do. I didn't know they knew this was possible. You just press a button and then you're on the thing. That's what this game is. You press buttons and things happen, and the game doesn't stop. You're in the middle of a battle, right? It's turn-based, sure. But you're in the middle of a battle and you get the Pokemon's health down to a sliver. Just highlight the Pokeball in your on-screen inventory and then press the throw button to throw the fucking Pokeball. This is a revelation, people! There is a menu screen, of course, for inventory management, for Pokemon management, but so much of the game takes place with the in-game world on screen. So much of the stop-start nature of the Pokemon series has been completely exorcised from this experience. Everything feels quicker, everything feels more efficient, everything feels like it's part of a flow. Run around the world, crouch in some grass, aim your Pokeball at a Pokemon, throw it, catch it, or not, but when you do catch it, a little tiny firework comes out the Pokeball, and that's just fucking brilliant. And while the Pokemon is being caught, you can just move on. Like, the ball will be on the ground, the Pokemon will be struggling, and you can just fuck off if you want. Fuck off and throw your Gengar at a tree so it can pick up some apricorns. Can't have enough apricorns. Being able to do multiple things at once, being able to just perform an action and move on to the next action instantly. I mean, it's just good. Pokemon Legends Arceus is just good. In fact, it's so good that I will go on record as saying this is what Pokemon needs to be from now on. This should be the future of the series. Any future Pokemon that apes the previously traditional Pokemon experience is a massive step back from now on. I don't want to play another game like Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. If the next mainline entry in the Pokemon series isn't this, then it's officially wasting my goddamn time. I am admittedly mostly viewing Pokemon Legends Arceus through the lens of someone who got incredibly sick of the traditional Pokemon format. I've always liked the series, don't get me wrong, but I have grown incredibly tired of it. However, it's not entirely fair to the game to view it exclusively through that lens. It stands on its own as a very entertaining game as well. The premise is a little different for a Pokemon game. You are a kid that's travelled through time or some shit. And it's an age where Pokemon are wilder, do not coexist with people so much. Risk of attack from wild Pokemon is an incredibly real threat. Rather than being justifiably freaked out and traumatized by going through a space-time rip, You instantly decide to grab your balls in your hand, take a big deep breath of the wild, and go out there to harass wild animals, forcing them to fight at your behest. There's a little bit of a Monster Hunter vibe to Arceus. More like Pokemonster Hunter, am I right? There are several large maps with wild Pokemon roaming around. You can sneak around. The stealth is no Tenchu, but there's tall grass that you can hide in so that you can sneak up on Pokemon and hit them in the back to catch them unawares. Many of the Pokemon can simply be caught without needing to battle them. You can craft a shitload of Pokeballs in this game, and if you toss them, there's a good chance that you will simply nab your target, earning that never not satisfying firework. Some Pokemon require more finesse, some will require direct combat. Despite the more immediate open-world nature of Arceus, battles are still turn-based, though you can freely walk around them as a trainer. It doesn't really add much to the experience. But the free roaming does maintain the game's commitment to keeping the player rooted in a single world. Plus, if you don't feel like fighting and you're trapped in combat, you can just run away. You can just turn around and scurry off until you're too far away. Speaking of which, when not in battle, wild Pokemon can and will attack you. In a manner similar to MMOs, a number of Pokemon species can be easily aggroed and will chase you around the map. Direct attacks on the trainer deal damage, take enough damage and you will get knocked out and lose a portion of your inventory. It's not a major risk. The only time I've died in Pokémon Legends Arceus is the one time I fell off of a cliff, but it nonetheless creates just a little extra layer of tension. That said, the Pokémon that aggro will always aggro, no matter how far in the game you are, no matter how over-leveled your Pokémon may be. A bunch of single-digit level Luxios will just as readily pursue you in the endgame as they will at the beginning of the game. You can run past them, so it's not a major pain in the ass, but being harassed and chased by Pokemon that are so far below you is nonetheless a little irritating. The gameplay loop of Arceus is just absorbing. It's very easy to lose hours simply running around the map, throwing balls at animals, picking shit up off the ground, and hunting for shiny versions of Pokemon. The shinies being a lot easier to find in this game. I like that. I know some of the hardcore dedicated spreadsheet users out there want to gatekeep shiny hunting, but fuck you. I have a purple cat, son! I'm a little less sold on alphas. I get why they're there from a gameplay perspective. There are giant versions of Pokemon with glowing red eyes. Ones that are high level and require a tough battle to catch. It lends a little element of danger to an MMO-style overworld, but to me I feel like it renders the common Pokemon a little obsolete, and I find the idea of having massive versions of them takes me out of the experience a little. It's fun to have a gigantic 10-foot-tall Chansey, but that's not Chansey. They're littler and cuter than that. It's just a weird personal hang-up I have. For some reason, I just don't like the idea of Pokemon that are twice the size. And also, while I'm airing grievances, we might as well share the token observation that there's no Ekans in the game. There's no Ekans! My love for the purple noodle friend is well known, to the point where any new Pokemon game has me inundated with commenters telling me whether or not Ekans is in it. And sadly, Arceus is in the no Ekans category, which is really the only thing holding it back. Because outside of that one glaring omission, Pokémon Legends Arceus is the best Pokémon game. Like, that's what it is. It is, very easily, the best Pokémon game. I will not be hearing counter-arguments. I will not perceive your contradictions. It is compelling, it is fun, it respects me as a finite human being. And on top of all that, there's only one version of it. None of this red, blue, XY, black, white, sun, moon, sword, shield, Bill and Ben the flower pot men. That grift, and it is a grift, is nowhere to be seen here. Pokémon Legends Arceus is the best Pokémon game. If it had Ekans, it'd be perfect. But it doesn't, so it sucks. 2 out of 10.